welcome to Heavy Metal Cooking. Cooking MC's like a pound of bacon. Today we're going to make a badass vegetarian chili. Let's do this thing. Right, so the first thing I'm doing is just lightly toasting some cumin seeds in what is literally a heavy metal casserole. It's made of cast iron, and the reason I'm using this, you should use this whenever you make a stew of any kind, is because the heavy base distributes the heat evenly. And here at Heavy Metal Cooking, we're all about the base. Right, so the next step is to just grind up the cumin seeds that I've toasted. It was only about 20 seconds, just enough until they go fragrant. You don't want to burn them. The reason you do it this way rather than just using the powdered stuff is because it releases all the oils. And so whenever you're cooking a curry or something similar, you should always do it this way. Requires a firm wrist action. There we are, ground cumin. So the next step is to fry off some vegetables in a pan. So we've got some vegetable oil here. It's nice and hot. In French, this stage will be called the mirepoix. In Italian, it would be known as the sofrito. In English, it's just a load of chopped carrots, onions and celery. We're just going to let that sweat down for a few minutes, stirring occasionally so that it doesn't get stuck to the bottom. Add a bit of salt and pepper at this stage. Better to add it a little bit at a time and let it cook out, then add a load at the end. The idea is this releases all the juices in the veg, as well as caramelising it all off. And also creates a great smell throughout the kitchen, which is pretty good because this recipe involves lots of beans and you should probably eat it on your own with all the windows open. Yeah, while the veg is just browning off, just a quick note on what I'm actually putting in the chilli. We've got, I've seen recipes for 3 bean chilies, I've seen recipes for 5 bean chilies, but because I'm a crazy maverick, I'm making a 4 bean chili, also because it was on special offer on 4 for £2 at Sainsbury's. So we've got butter beans in there, aduki beans, red kidney beans and haricot beans. Fun times. Okay, so it's time for the next stage where all the action happens. All my veg has been sweating down nicely. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some bay leaves. Then I've got some finely chopped red chilli and garlic. Got about 4 of each really, 4 cloves of garlic, 4 red chillies with the seeds. So I want this to be nice and spicy. And the minute they hit the pan, you get this big waft of chili heat and garlic smacking you in the face. Like Kerry King with a battle axe. So that's been in there for about 30 seconds. We've had, it's all nice and fragrant, so now we add the ground cumin from earlier. And about 2 teaspoons of hot chili powder. As you can see, I'm measuring this very precisely. So just letting that cook out for just a second. think this might need a little bit more oil actually. And again, you get that big smack of fragrance from the powdered spices. So then what you do is you create a well in the centre of the pan. Get tomato puree, a couple of tablespoons full. Again, let it cook out. In we go with a load of mushrooms, just plain old mushrooms. Black cap mushrooms or whatever will do, whatever you like really. Just not magic ones, because there are kids watching this. Say no to drugs. Get it all nicely coated. And then we have the star of the show, the beans. As you can see, this has gone a bit wonky, so I've got to adjust this. Yes, get everything nicely coated together. All the spices and the tomato puree, all the veg, all mixing together. Bloody thing. Okay, this is going to die. Yeah, so just a quick correction from earlier. These aren't, I haven't got haricot beans in here. I've got black-eyed beans, but everything else is fine. Everything's nicely coated, so I now add tomatoes. Bit more seasoning. Let it simmer for about 10 minutes. Finally, I'm just going to add a little bit of veg stock. Just enough to almost cover. Got about half a pint's worth here. Maybe a little bit more. I'll cover that and let it simmer for an hour. Okay, so we're into the last 15 minutes or so of cooking time. I'm just going to dribble a little bit of Worcestershire sauce over. Of course, if you wanted a truly vegetarian version, you should omit this, because it is, of course, not vegetarian, but it contains anchovies, I think. Right, so I'm going to serve this with some nice healthy brown rice. To my ladle. Just gave it a quick season at the end, look at that. Awesome. Oh well, that was certainly ballsy. Yeah, plenty of spice in there. Works for me, but you know, if you want to chill it out a bit, just put a little bit less chili powder in, a few less chilies, maybe leave the seeds out. But I'm pretty hardcore, so I just had it like that. Next week we'll be journeying back to 1942 to learn how to make salt beef. Until then, stay tuned and stay heavy.